So we're going to kick it off with the NFC team. We're going to go north, south, east, west, like we're wicked witches. Guys, I'm going to start you off with my hometown division, the NFC North. I'm ready to get my feelings hurt. Go ahead.
All right, so
you want me to, you take it. You take it.
Yeah, I'll read what I have first, and then like I said, you'll say what you had. So can I
ask real quick? I'm so sorry. Can I ask real quick? Do you guys know each other's records going in?
Bobby knows mine. He didn't send me his either. He doesn't know mine.
Interesting. A single blind study. Okay, great.
Also, just real quick, not to derail this whole thing, but are we doing the one game within our prediction, or like we did last year, or the 2 games that we did every other?
Oh
game?
Yeah, you're right. I should do a little recap of the rules. Sorry, bad hosting. I was just enjoying the sound of my own voice. The rules are as follows: we each predict the records for our respective conferences. We have to. Yes, I think it was better. Do you guys think it was better when we were one game within? It just made it a little tighter. I think you get it if you predict, for example, the rule being if you predict, for example, 9 wins for a team, if they win 10 or they win 8, you get the point. We're gonna go by conference. We're gonna at the end pick our defensive player of the year, coach of the year, rookie of the year, offensive player of the year, and rookie of the year. I might have said rookie of the year twice. So I think that's it, right? It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. If there's anything I'm missing, leave it in the comments. So yes, sorry guys. NFC North, take it away.
All right. So I put Detroit as going 12-5, winning that division. So Detroit going 12-5, Green Bay going 11-6, Chicago going 9-8, and then Minnesota going 6-11.
Okay.
I had all those within. I had all those within one game, so we can take that. We'll take that and run with it. I like it.
Okay, great. I'm going to need a breakdown of your reasoning, Ray, why you think each of these teams are going to do what they're going to do. Bobby as well.
Yeah, no. So as far as Detroit, I mean, I think that it's been a running joke on the show about when they were going to finally become good. Mike's take for 2020 has finally come to fruition about them being a formidable opponent, and they're just in an era where they've suffered long enough, and now they are starting to put the pieces together to be in contention. Doesn't mean that they're going to get to the Super Bowl and actually win it, but they're definitely in a place where they can be in contention to make the playoffs. So Goff has gotten much better. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 10 receiver. The defense has gotten better.
Top 5, I'd say.
Yeah, even top 5, right? So they've done really well. As far as Green Bay, I think that they're probably riding high off of what they did last year. Obviously, it ended badly, for them in San Francisco. But I think that they come in with more confidence. I think that wide receiver core gets a little bit better, even if they were last year. The same thing with the defense. I think that Jordan Love's confidence improves as well. We spoke about this the last show we was together, but I got y'all going 9-8, and that's because I think Caleb Williams comes out the gate swinging, and I think that he's put the world on notice immediately, saying like, "Hey, I'm not a guy, but I'm the guy." And I'm pumped up. I may not get it this year, but fuck, I'm coming. And I think that I'm high on him. So I think that he comes out the gate swinging, and that's what I think. They win their 2 or 3, first 2 or 3 games, and then may tail off a little bit because he's a rookie. But
that happens to rookies. I mean, honestly, you're painting an ideal picture for me. 9-8 is the number I have in my head as a Bears fan, because I just think that I would qualify that as a successful season.
Right.
Just there's a contextual scenario where we might sneak into the playoffs with that record. Probably not.
I came into this very logically this time, because sometimes I'm a little irrational with how I think. But I feel like I came into these picks this year very, very rational. I'm sure Mike.
So you do have a cunning plan to defeat. You just didn't want to bury the lead. I like it.
Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But and then Minnesota, I think just between the injuries and then just not how much they lost in the offseason, I got them going 6-11. So
we're about to pack show.
Oh, I said Green Bay was going 11-6. I had them in the second division. So
Bobby, what do you have to say about my perhaps ill-fated NFC North in competition? I would say with the Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and Ravens for being the toughest division. I'd say we're getting there, right? You seem to have the same sort of high win percentages as Ray does.
Yeah. So, but the only one I differ on is the Packers. I'm not as high on the Packers as a lot of people are. I think
music to my ears. Music to my ears.
I just think a lot of people are high on the Packers because of that victory against the Cowboys last year, but that was a no-show of that Cowboys team. So I don't give them as much credit as everyone else does for that win, because I take it away from the Cowboys. because it was just such a shellacking. And I feel like that's what everyone is so high on Jordan Love, because he tore apart that defense. But that defense just didn't show up for that game. So I'm not as high on them.
I think the fact that Jordan Love was there at all, though, if they were ahead of schedule, wouldn't you say?
Can I just ask you a question, Bobby? So if the Cowboys beat the shit out of the Packers, would you say that, well, it doesn't really count that much because the Packers didn't show up? Or would you just be still jerking your little Dallas Star all over the place? I think
I'd be jerking
you are really.
Place,
I think you are really high on the Packers, but you just can't admit it because you're a Cowboys fan.
No, that's not the case. No, that's not the case at all. I completely agree with your Bears take, though. I think the Bears get out hot and heavy. Because the beginning of that schedule isn't anything to come right home about. The end of it, though, the end of that Bears schedule is pretty tough. So I think 9-8 is a really good spot for them.
I'm okay with being front loaded with easy games for the Chicago Bears historically, especially the Matt Eberflus Chicago Bears, because I think we've gotten the past 3 seasons. I think we've gotten better as the season has gone on. I think we're always historically like a decent winter team for obvious reasons. So yeah, I'm fine with that. And I have a lot of key games in mind to win for the Bears this year. And one of them is the Tennessee Titans opening day game. Opening Sunday game. It's like a borderline must win. I've never seen a more must win scenario for like the first game of the fucking season, to be totally honest with you, because it's going to be like all eyes on Caleb. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, everybody's going to be like, what does this guy got? You know, it's going to be a conversation that people are having. I'm going to have to start filtering this shit out. I'm not used to this, right? Like the number 1 overall pick sort of media pressure. But I do appreciate what you guys are saying. I really liked your assessment. I think we're all in agreement, and we touched on this a little bit last week. There's weirdly bad vibes over there in Minnesota, right, Mike? I feel like there's I would generally be in the same place as these guys with these NFC North predictions, to be totally honest with you. I might take a game off the Packers out of spite, but where do you stand on how they've come out?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're reasonable picks. I think the Packers are going to be they're going to push the Lions to have like the best record in that division.
Those are going to be fun games, you know. Like, yeah, those interdivisional games are going to be fun.
I think that if you're a Bears fan, like, you should feel really good about 9-8. Like, that's where you want to be, because you could just win a game that you're not supposed to and actually win 10 games. But either way, it's an improvement over last year. And the whole thing that you're looking at this year is that you just don't want Caleb Williams to be the reason that you lose too many games. Yeah. He's probably going to lose you to 1 because he's a rookie, which is normal. But I think people are going to be really impressed with him, midway through the year. So I think we've all been counting out the Vikings for the last 3 years, though. But one thing I would say is that their primetime choke artist is gone. I think they might have a better quarterback situation now than they did, obviously, last year, but maybe even 2 years ago.
Well,
Let's put shade to Kirk Cousins' name, huh?
Well, I think to that point, I think so. Listen, I liked JJ McCarthy. I think that we had talked about him being potentially coming here to New England when we did.
It sucks what happened. You know,
it sucks for him, obviously, but I think Sam Darnold now is the starter there.
Correct.
And there was no planet. I don't care. There's no planet. There's no where that Sam Darnold is better than Kirk Cousins. Now, we know where Sam Darnold was supposed to be coming out of USC in 2018, but as you said on live TV, the man's been seeing. So he saw ghosts against us, but he's been seeing ghosts his whole entire career in the league. Now he has not had a Justin Jefferson to throw to and a TJ Hawkinson to throw to, so maybe that changes his career. But I don't see them turning it around with him at quarterback for this season. Once again, I think McCarthy coming back. Hopefully he finds health and they do well next season. But for this season alone, I think that they have to overcome too much in order to have a successful year, in my opinion. Anyways,
I think as the QB of the Vikings 2 years ago on 3rd and 15, he knew what he needed and he threw it 6 yards. Like, I think Sam Darnold is going to be smarter in the pocket and with his decisions than Kirk Cousins. I still think six games is the perfect place to pick them, because they could win 7, but they're not going to win 8.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, forgive me if this is too meta. I just I feel like to make a Sam Darnold successful in a system that has good skill players, if you're taking the approach of like Sam Darnold still has these guys to throw to, so like he should be better in theory. Like
Right.
I agree with you, Ray, that I don't see it happening because I think the mistake that the Vikings offense always made was they put Kirk Cousins in positions to have to win them games, as opposed to put their skill players a la the San Francisco 49ers or the Miami Dolphins. You know what I mean? And I think that like Kirk Cousins was just good enough in the regular season where they were like, all right, let's do that thing where you know, yeah, he's got weapons, but our QB is going to win us the game. When there's kind of more meta examples now of like, you can have a Deebo Samuel and a Brandon Ayuk and a Christian McCaffrey, and it's like, yeah, that's a hell of an offense. You know what I mean? I know they lost in the Super Bowl, they still got there, and like the conversations about Brock Purdy were what they were. I think we're entering an era where you can make a Sam Darnold an efficient QB. I just don't think that the Vikings are going to be able to retool their offense in one offseason or half an offseason, since they know that. And why would they? You know, why would you retool your offense around a fucking Sam Darnold? Like that would just be ridiculous. Plus, as much as the Vikings situation is one where, because there's a Justin Jefferson there, I would have wanted JJ to start right away. Because it's like, you know what, man, like, fuck it. Like, just go out there and play with your toys and we'll like figure it out next season. I think it's the way the Bears are approaching it. The Drake May approach is one that is so valid because of the players we've seen benefit from it. You know, everybody knows the list of the Jordan Loves, the Aaron Rodgers, you know, like the players that the Patrick Mahomes, of course, that benefit from sitting behind a quarterback that's probably worse than them. And then because they get to sort of get comfortable in the NFL, learn the playbook, like learn the plan, like and embed themselves in the culture and like get to know everybody, it really benefits them. And I think like that's the attitude I hope that he takes, because you don't wish an injury like this on anybody, you know, especially not a rookie. Right. And I hope that this isn't like, I hope that this is a freak occurrence and we're not seeing like a Carson Palmer type situation emerge over the next few years. I hope I know he's in my division, but like I'm not putting that juju out into the world. With a rookie quarterback myself, you know what I mean? So there you have it, folks. Just to confirm, you had the Vikings at how many wins?
6-11.
Okay, so 6-11 for the Vikings, 9-8 for the Bears, 11-5 for the Packers, 11-6 for the Packers, and 12-5 for the division winners, Detroit Lions. I think those are, I mean, you know, I know we started off very civil, listeners, but I long may that continue, but I doubt that it will.